Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching today's midday weather outlook for the southern region brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. Let's just take a look at what we got over the last 24 hours across the southern region here. So this is just through 6 a.m. in the morning, and we're seeing overall the setup of what we're going to be contending with here in the next couple of days. In fact, moving out quite a bit farther than that. First of all, we do have a frontal boundary that is sliding toward the southeast, but we're going to see how much precipitation it does bring to the southeast, and certainly there are some places that would love to have this rain, just as some of us right here in the Corn Belt desperately wanted to see it. But overall, there's still a broader ridge that's sitting out here over the four corner states. You can even see the flow like this. And what we're going to be focusing on this video is where we're expecting to see a lot of our heavier precipitation. And just to kind of give you an idea here, this corridor in through here, I'm looking to see very, very wet. I'm looking to continue to see the southwestern monsoon continue to go. And also we're going to be watching for tropical systems making an impact here in the southeast. So let's get on into this by first just looking what we've got over the last 14 days. Parts of Texas and Oklahoma have been very dry, and parts of the Intermountain West where we've had some of these bigger storms have been very, very wet. We've seen some flash flooding out here as well. Along the Gulf Coast, a lot of heavier rainfall. A lot of that was from the stalled out frontal boundary we had last week. But you can see there are a lot of regions down there in parts of Mississippi, Alabama, getting into Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina that are very dry, especially coastal regions of North Carolina showing up very, very dry in the longer term here. Meanwhile, parts of Tennessee, Kentucky, you can see here over the last few weeks, we've had anywhere between 2 and 5 inches of rainfall for some locations in there. So places have been wet and other places have been mist. The bigger picture, like I said, is to talk about where the heavier rainfall is going to be going. We can clearly see the monsoonal moisture is moving into the desert southwest, so our flash flood threat still continues there as this broader ridge feature sets up in this area. The northwest flow around this ridge will be coming right in through here into parts of Kansas, into parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, and into northern Texas. Outside of that, this will be a hit or miss shower and thunderstorm activity because all of our main tropical activity seems to be wanting to stay in a corridor just like this. We're going to take a look at those details in just a few moments here, but let's go right into the tropics. National Hurricane Center's got their eye on a couple of regions here. The tropical convection you see that started inside that circle, then moved here toward the island of Hispaniola. And as we mentioned in yesterday's video, a very robust tropical wave coming off of the west coast of Africa. Yes, there is still quite a bit of dry and dusty air to contend with, and this broader frontal feature that you see that moved in through here, well, that frontal feature is going to be an important player as it gets out into the open Atlantic as to where the potential for this particular system could go. So that's what things look like in infrared satellite. Take a look now at what we've got from the European model going out over the next 10 days, looking at the potential tracks of any tropical systems. We do see the dominance of the higher atmospheric pressure still sitting out here in the north central Atlantic. And because of that broader front that is moving in that direction, we can see that these systems are forecast, as we've been talking about, to likely avoid any sort of U.S. landfall. Now, remember, they're still weak. These are not, we're investigating these. These aren't named systems that we're talking about. All of the major activity in that regard is over in the East Pacific, which we're not going to talk about in this video. So the National Hurricane Center right now giving this one over here about a 10% chance of developing, and this over here about a 20% chance of developing. And we're going to see in a few minutes what the models are picking up on, especially with where this particular system might end up. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with in the tropics. And again, remember that corridor looks something like this, where the heaviest rains are going to be over the next 10 days or so. One of the problems for the system that's right now sitting over here, over parts of the Lesser Antilles, getting over toward Puerto Rico, is that this broader ridge trough system in the United States has increased the wind shear in its path, and it's going to steer it probably away. That's some of the major steering components of this particular system. Remember, hurricanes can't handle the higher wind shear. But certainly why we've maybe given the system coming off Africa a better chance is at least the wind shear in the main development region is relatively light at this time, giving that one, like I said, a better chance at surviving. So we come back here again. Just take a look again at what we're looking at over the next 10 days in terms of precipitation. And what I want to do next is I want to kind of walk through some of the details of this. So let's animate out starting early in in the morning here, getting us through Wednesday midday, what the high-resolution rapid refresh model's picking up on. We do have the boundary that will be moving here through the southeast, but on it, we're going to lose a lot of our more, what I would call organized convection. In other words, longer lines of storms, and just it's going to serve as a general initiation point for quite a bit of shower and thunderstorm activity. But this is going to be very hit or miss. So you'll probably be looking at your favorite app, or you'll be looking at, the local weather on TV, and they're going to say, oh, we got about a 20 to 50% chance at showers. Folks that do get underneath some of this will get some heavy rain, as you can see there in the southeast, but outside of that, a lot of people are going to be missed. So this is not a big organized system. I will be watching carefully what's going on over parts of Louisiana, as some bigger shower and thunderstorm clusters are there, and they're able to work with a lot of instability in that area. And if you remember, last week I identified this corridor in through here as having the best chance of being very wet in recent, at least in the next 10 days. But bigger picture is watch the flow that's coming around the ridge that's out west. And as a consequence, Texas, a lot of hit or miss showers and storms, maybe a little bit better chance in eastern Texas tonight. But outside of that, that ridge is still kind of going to dominate things. Now, I'm just going to play this for you. I want you to watch the whole flow. So if I could tell you how to watch this, blur your eyes a little bit and just watch how this all sets up. Ready? Watch for the major features. This quarter, continuing to get northwest flow, boundaries that hang out down here, and tropical systems that keep trying to do something like that. Ready? So let's just play 10 days, every 6 hours moving forward. It's fun to watch it in animation because you can really see the major features, right? You continue to see chances in through here of heavier rainfall. This is the tropical system right in through here that we were talking about a while ago. Well, just the operational model run wants to take it like this and then have it turn on off to the north and east, again, avoiding the United States. And remember, this is just one model run, so don't look at this and go, oh my gosh, Florida, we're in trouble, or East Coast, we're in trouble. This is so far off in the forecast. 10 days from now is when it might be getting into this position, so don't worry about that too much. But let's actually go through a little bit of the detail here, taking you all the way back. This again, Tuesday morning, we see the broader front sliding toward the south and east. So all along this front on Tuesday into Wednesday, just widely scattered showers and storms with a bigger, higher pressure center behind this. More storms in Louisiana, like we said, to start off the week. Now, first round of heavier rainfall pouring right in through here, coming into Missouri and Arkansas by the time we get into Thursday morning, pushing toward, Arkansas Thursday afternoon and evening. Look at this next round coming over that same path. See it there? This is now Friday afternoon, doing that same thing, moving through Oklahoma as we get into Saturday midday, Saturday evening into Sunday. So that's why that corridor right in through here, very wet. You keep seeing the green pop up out west. That's all monsoonal flow. And we keep the moisture on tap down here along the Gulf Coast. So almost every day there's going to be a chance for more showers and thunderstorms. And then the tropical system, here it is, kind of finally working its way up. Honestly, we'd love to see what you've got right here by the time that system gets here on the 9th. And overall, there's a deeper low pressure system that's off the map, way up here in the upper right-hand corner, and its front's right down through here. And that would, again, push in this direction, taking that tropical cyclone and shoving it on out to open ocean. So this is kind of what things are looking like here in the near term. What I want to show you next is ocean temperatures globally, just to give you some more perspective on this. Okay, right now, the conditions in the Atlantic Ocean are favorable. We're looking at ocean temperature anomalies. And even though you see cooler water in through parts of the Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico, it's still plenty warm to create a hurricane. It's just that it's slightly cooler than a climatological average for right now. Very warm all around this, though, which is why we have to watch systems in that area. Now, I'm going to take these drawings off here and I'm going to show you something. Notice how warm things are in the North Pacific, how warm they are around Greenland, but south of it, it's cool. I'm going to show you a little different way to kind of look at what this is going to do to the jet stream. We're going to push a pretty sizable ridge up into Alaska, but because of those warm waters, we're going to get very stagnant high over low flow that builds into a ridge over the western United States, a broader trough over the east that then again goes into this high over low pattern, something like this over Greenland. The really highly amplified meandering pattern in summer is a stagnant pattern with ridges in these areas and troughs here. And there is some staying power with this particular forecast of the flow pattern as I kind of detail it out for you this week. And one of the most important things is that the ridge that you see developing over Greenland, well, part of that is due to the heat wave we had in Europe last week. That heat is now pushed north and west, which it can sometimes do. We call that retrograding. And it's built a ridge that went from the Scandinavian area over to Greenland. And that's helping to block up all the flow like this. That's what's keeping that giant ridge that's in the western United States in the west. So what does it mean? Well, the next 5 days, we can see here in terms of our temperature pattern. Well, we know why this is looking cool. That's a lot of rainfall in that area and cloud cover. Outside of that, this region, very warm under the ridge, and also a return to near average, slightly above average temperatures for the southeast. Getting out into days 6 through 10 out here, again, we see that same pattern hanging on, but much of the southern region here warmer than average. But look at the evolution of the pattern once I get you out to middle of August. Again, what do we see? We see this pattern that's doing something a bit more like this. It's very highly amplified. And that cooler air is coming down into this region, which means our chances of it seeing extreme heat in the southern region, I'm talking extreme heat, where we're getting into the upper 90s, lower hundreds routinely, is relatively low, especially in the southeast. If there is a place I'm concerned about it getting hot at times, of course, it's going to be Texas, New Mexico, and Oklahoma. But again, those ridge riders around it coming in and cooling things off. One last thing to show you here, I just want to put this again all in perspective. Next 15 days, looking to where it's going to be wetter than average and drier than average. A lot of hit or miss showers and storms over the southeast, that's the drier pattern. Ridge riders plus the monsoonal flow, that's the wetter corridor. Tropical systems staying out just like this, okay? So overall, I think that gives us a pretty good idea what to expect, and I'll go ahead and wrap it up right there. We at Nutrien Ag Solutions hope you look forward to all of our forecast content this week at my.nutrienagsolutions.com. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.